Hello, it's your girl Indiefyaskye, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new to my channel, please stick around and subscribe. And those that are already subscribed, thank you for coming back and tuning in with me today. So I just wanted to come in and give you guys an update because I know it's been a few weeks since I've been on here, and I know that I said prior that I'm gonna be more consistent, and I'm trying to do that, but I have a good excuse. Your girl got sick. And what's crazy about being pregnant, you already have morning sickness that you're dealing with and other pregnancy symptoms that you have going on. And sometimes when you have those symptoms, it's really hard to see if it's pregnancy related or if it's something else. And as you know, there's a whole variant going around right now. So, you know, I didn't want to think that that's what it was. So, story time. So this particular day, I woke up, I had a headache, and when you're pregnant, you get headaches sometimes, especially as your hormones are starting to increase. So I just assumed that I had a little bit of a headache, either due to that or because I was dehydrated. And when you're pregnant, you're supposed to drink a whole lot of water, and, that is something that I've always struggled with. Like, it's very hard for me to drink water. It just doesn't really taste all that, good to me. Like, when it's ice cold, yeah, it tastes, amazing, but it's just very hard. I just rather have something that has a little bit of taste to it. So I assumed that maybe I was dehydrated or whatever. So because I was feeling so like loopy or whatever, I'm like, let me take a Tylenol, because I had, to get up, make breakfast, be energetic for the kids, and I didn't really want to like try to just drink water and hope that I would, quell the symptoms. I wanted to make sure that it was gone. So I go about taking my Tylenol. This is already after I had breakfast. And side note that you don't know about me, I hate swallowing pills. I rather like gummies or liquids or whatever. I really can't. It's very hard for me to swallow pills. So anyway, for some reason this particular day, I guess because of how I was already feeling, and I noticed when I'm pregnant, my gag reflex is like super like ridiculous. So I go to take the pill and it just didn't agree with me. Like, it went down, but I just felt my body like pretty much saying hell to the no, this is not staying down. So I end up having to go to the bathroom and, throw up, which happens, sometimes. Not so much in this pregnancy. I've been pretty good, haven't been throwing up like that, but it has happened in the past where, I've taken something and, the way that it went down just didn't agree with my stomach or whatever, and it just came back up. So after that happened, I just felt so awful. Like, my stomach felt like, because when you're pregnant and you try, like, I guess when you go to try to throw up, like, it's hard for your stomach to kind of go in. So it just kind of felt funny, and I felt like shit afterwards. So I'm like, let me go lay down. So I'm laying down this whole time thinking I'm feeling awful because I just threw up, and I threw up everything I had to eat and everything like that. But as I'm laying there, like, my back started to hurt, like my middle of my back started to hurt. And then I started to notice, like, I felt like I was getting hot. I'm like, do I have a damn fever? So I checked myself, and I had a low grade fever. I'm like, I kept trying to say to myself, maybe this is pregnancy related. Maybe this is all pregnancy symptoms. But I'm just like, but why do I have a fever, right? So mind you, my sister-in-law had been by, and she wasn't feeling well, and I just assumed it was like a regular cold or whatever. I didn't think it was anything serious. So, sorry, excuse me. I'm still getting over it, y'all. So she had gone to take a PCR test. That takes a few days to get back. So she had found some rapid tests. And I know that's something hard to come by right now, because everyone needs that right now. So she got that. And I was like, you know what? Like, for shits and giggles, let me just take it, to see, like, if I actually caught, the variant or whatever. Well, let me tell you something. The way that line came out, and I'm gonna show you a picture of it, it was crazy. Like, like usually like the dye or the whatever stuff goes across the field, and then like you get the control line, and then then a test line comes up. As soon as that fluid, whatever you want to call it, went across, the test line came up, then the control line, and it was so strong. It was like, you know, like a person that wasn't sure if they were pregnant or not, and they finally take a test, and the line is so freaking bold. You're like, whoa, you know, how far along am I? That's how strong that line was. So I was like, oh shit, you know, like, damn, like I freaking I freaking have the variant. So I'm like, well, this would explain why my head was hurting, why my lower back was bothering me. And then I started to feel like when I went to get up to like go to the restroom, I was feeling like kind of disoriented, like very loopy. So I dealt with that for, sorry, a few days. But mind you, whenever I get sick, which is very rare, I feel like it's been happening more frequently now because all that's been going on and us not being out around people like that. My asthma, because I'm asthmatic, but it's not regular. It's like seasonal. It gets triggered by certain things, changes season or whatever. So that gets triggered, right? So even after like the days have gone by, because I started to feel better, I started to notice like, you know, now I have like you know, this little tickle in my throat. I'm coughing or whatever, and pretty much it's like my body trying to get rid of like, I guess, all that extra phlegm or whatever that was caused by the variant. And now that I'm negative, I'm good now, y'all. You know, I've beat it. I'm now dealing with my asthma symptoms. So I had to take my nebulizer and my asthma inhaler, and I'm taking Mucinex and everything like that. So I'm definitely feeling better, but I'm just trying to, you know, remove this phlegm. But it was just absolutely crazy because, you know, I probably wouldn't have thought to even test for that if it weren't for the fact that, I mean, the test was in the house. You know, I wasn't going to go out and get it. You know what I mean? And also my sister-in-law wasn't feeling well. And she was like, you know what? If you really want to know, I know you're pregnant, you don't want to go out and be out like that. I was like, she's like, I'll go and test, and, you know, just to see. So when she went about doing that, I'm like, you know what? Let me just, you know, take it and see what the results were. So, yeah, I was completely shocked. So, you know, I'm just letting you know, updating you guys, because I know that, you know, some of you that are watching me are currently pregnant and you're like probably not feeling well. You're wondering, oh, maybe it's just pregnancy related or whatever. Just, you know, you never know. You might actually have caught the Amarian variant.
Let it touch, we cannot lose. Just let it touch.
They call it or whatever. But yeah, not trying to like, you know, make light of the situation. Like, you know, I feel, you know, very lucky that it wasn't as, you know, crazy as maybe other people had it. You know, I was able to like get through it. I didn't have to go to the doctor. I took like the Alka-Seltzer cold and the flu or whatever, because mind you, after I had taken the Tylenol and I had to throw up or whatever, I couldn't keep anything down. And then that's when I noticed I started to have a fever. So when you're pregnant, you never want to have a fever because they say something about that affecting the baby. And for the life of me, I couldn't keep nothing down. I kept trying to eat little stuff like fruit. That wouldn't stay down. Excuse me. My sister-in-law had bought me some like the liquid, you know, cold and flu medicine or whatever, because I don't like swallowing pills. The taste of that was just too pungent or whatever. As soon as I sipped that shit, my body was like, fuck no, and it came right up. So I was like, oh my God, like I can't keep nothing down. Like it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So eventually I was able to, and that helped, but it was wild. It was absolutely wild. How I was feeling. Like I felt like shit. Like, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like there was one other time that I felt this are horrible, but actually, excuse me, it was actually a little bit worse, the symptoms. It was like right before we knew what this whole thing was, almost the C word or whatever. My partner and my oldest daughter had gotten sick. A friend had came over with her son. They had just moved back from California, and at the time California was like the hot spot before we even knew what was going on. And he was sick, and she had taken him to the doctor, and she's like, oh, he's pretty much over it, everything's fine or whatever, this and the third. So they came over. my daughter was playing with his toys, and my daughter, even still to this day, she likes putting stuff in her mouth. So she's playing with the toy and she's like putting it in her mouth. And you know, I'm not saying we were like germaphobes, but even before everything happened, we were like pretty like on top of like what she has in our hands, make sure her hands are washed, make sure we wash her toys and stuff like that. And like if she's sharing with another kid, make sure the toys are clean. So we're expecting like the other mom to kind of be the same way, but not everyone does things the way that you do it. So she goes, oh, it's fine or whatever, everything's okay. So we're like, okay, you know, we didn't like, you know, make a big deal about it. But she got sick from this little boy. And the thing is, he didn't even look like he was that sick. And babies are so surprising with that. They're like little Trojan horses. Like, they could be like having like the worst, like whatever, but they'll be playing and laughing or whatever. Like, they're good. And then you be feeling like shit. You be like on your deathbed. And you're like, how the hell do I feel this bad when this baby's what got me sick? So anyway, she got sick, and then we all got sick, and we're upstairs like shivering, having like our heavy down jackets on with the heat on in the bed with the blanket shivering. I honestly felt like death, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, at the time, I was thinking it might have been the flu, and I don't think I had the flu before, but I felt so bad. My partner felt so weak. And now to think back about it, that shows probably that C word before we even knew what it was, and we got through it. And I remember I couldn't eat and I lost so much weight. This felt bad, but not as bad as that. But that was intense. Like, I honestly didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I really didn't feel that good at all. But anyway, excuse me. Still trying to clear this shit out. sorry about clearing my throat, but I just wanted to hop on and like talk to you guys. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much my update. That's why you haven't seen me like that, you know. I have, you know, a few other things that I have coming down the line for you guys, keep things nice and interesting and fresh on the channel and everything like that. I also, you know, I'm on TikTok too if you guys want to see other stuff that I'm doing as well. Try to sprinkle things here and there, and you know, on my IG page as well. But yeah, you know, I hope you guys had a happy new year, because I didn't even say anything about that. Yeah, like all this right here like kind of messed up the whole holiday, because right after Christmas, that's when I started to feel like shit, and New Year I was still feeling like shit. So I was just, you know, just trying to recoup, get myself back together and everything like that. So, you know, New Year's really wasn't as hot as it could have been. I'm sure it might have been the same for you guys because of everything that's been going on. You probably was in the house trying to stay safe and healthy or whatever. So yeah, so I hope you guys, your New Year is going well so far. I hope you guys aren't sick, but I know a lot of people are sick. I just hope you guys are good. And, you know, I hope to see you guys really soon. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.